welcome to Platypus Farms, Indoor Edition. Snowed again. Yep. So anyway, I'm working on this project down here. We have a cubby hole under the stairs, which had a curtains on the floor. Anyway, I want to put a bookshelf here that swings out. So what I've had to do is this part of the stairs was in here, so I might need to come up some more. Well, anyway, I had to notch it out. Luckily I have a little Sawzall. So how I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to use the existing wood on the property, and part of it's going to be made with the fencing that I pulled down and stacked up in earlier videos. So right now my workbench is right outside that door, which is that's where the main living room is, where I'm going to put the bookshelf in. So I found the least cracked, densest pieces, and you know, they're still fence pieces. So what I'll probably end up doing is I have a bunch of this. So this is going to be my trim for around the door. I have to go pretty thin because I don't know if you noticed, but where that top left corner is, the stairwell comes up there, and so I need to keep it pretty thin. So to give this some rigidity, and I'm just screwing into the ends here. What is that, like ½ inch, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and there's going to be 2 shelves, and I'll just run a little piece of wood, angle wood, underneath each shelf on both sides. And then I'll run a piece of this straight underneath one of these as well. Of course, it'll cut down on how tall of a book, but really it's just going to be kind of a cover up that space. It's not a curtain, and we can put little curios there or books. Oh, notice that one has got a nice, that'll be an inside one. I'll face it so no one can see it. So this is good enough. Problem is it's wet. All the wood's wet except for these trim pieces, so I'm sanding them already. And then, yeah, I'll pop back in with videos as I progress. Anyway, just sanding along here, just on the trim pieces, and you realize when you're sanding, man, this stuff is rough. I mean, this is another piece that's not sanded at all yet. And you got to go pretty deep here. This is going to take a bit of time. These pieces are really rough, so I've got the aggressive belt sander down there. Yeah, I got my chainsaw out here. Need it handy. Walk all the way out to the shed to get it. Anyway, yeah, I could buy wood that's already nice and smooth or almost ready, but another one of the goals here is to just do this with stuff that's already been here. Nope, not buying anything except for some hardware. I need to get some hinges, and I think I might do a secret little door thing, a little book where you pull it and see how long that wears out. All right, back to sanding. Well, so I got to thinking about how I wanted to do this, and I realized I need to frame this in here so this is not exposed. But down here is this drywall in here, and I don't want wood and then paint over this, then be drywall. It's just going to get gouged up with this swinging open, and actually if we access it. So just picking it out through here, and then we'll see how far this goes down. I might need to trim it. Wouldn't it be awesome if it just fit? We'll see. Okay, so we got the drywall out of here. See, there's a nice little recess here. You know, you think it'd just come out in one piece. Most of it is in the vacuum now. But it was both, I don't know if it was glued. Looked like there's glue down here, but it was definitely nailed in and it was stuck. So as you can see, there's nails here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're not really easy to get to because they're recessed under this hardwood floor. So, I guess I'm just gonna get a little tiny, I'll get a little crowbar. See if I can't pull them out, because hammer claw will be too long. Well, on to that one next. Well, I've got to say, as far as depth goes, this fits pretty well, considering what I'm doing. I might just leave it like that, but you can see the floor is not level. It's more flush here than it is over there. But the problem I am having, there's that little bit of gap there down the wall. So, and tiny bit on this side, not nearly as bad. So I'm going to pull this back out. And, by the way, those nails were not fun. Oh. And I think I'm just going to maybe I'll try to trim it a little bit with the circular saw. Just rip it a little bit here and a tiny bit here. Just, you know, I don't have a table saw, so I'm making do. Okay, well, trying to sit down, my old man body. So, much better fit here. You can see I just ripped it by hand. So I got a little bit of a gap here, but I'm not too concerned. I need to, there's a nail down there, which is loose now, and just this one here and one down there. So I need to get a couple of more. But if I nailed this one in, it's going to be nice and flush. It's just kicking off a little bit, so that'll be good. So happy with it. If I want this smoother, I could just take the sander and bring this lip down, but I'm not really concerned about it. I just didn't want chipping drywall in a place where this is going to be opening and whatever in and out travel there's going to be. So this will be fine. I'm going to clean that mess up though. Well, you guys probably wouldn't know it, but it's the next day. Well, if I panned this way, you'd know it was the next day because there's no snow over there now. It melted. It's just raining out, sprinkling out here. So anyway, also when I said this was the indoor project, I meant it was indoor outdoor. This is my workshop right now. What do you think? So anyway, I made the frame. I have no jig, no real workbench, so did my best balancing act and all that stuff, but you know, it's square. The only problem is it's going into a space that is not square. Man, I measured that thing up and it is not a square hole, so that'll be fun. Anyway, got a countersink. Put these in there. I want to show you this cool little gadget that I bought on accident. Well, not an accident. I went to go get a number 8 drill bit with a countersink, and of all of them, they were out in the DeWalt section. I mean, in the Milwaukee section. So the only thing they had, this is my local, by the way, was this doohickey here. So this my drill and this bit here, they're having an argument. You know, these guys don't get along, do they? But they had to. They're working together. So this is pretty cool if you're old like me and you always forget where you left your... Where's my drill bit piece? This one's kind of cool. Let's see if I can do this. Pull that out. Voila. You flip it around and it's right there. So when you got a really nice clean workspace like my well-organized area and you can't find where you left it, it's right there. It's inside. Just there's my screwdriver. It's in there. Here's my drill bit. Anyhow, let's go inside and see how this... I guarantee it won't fit. I guarantee I'm gonna have to sand around the edges. It was my dry fit was super tight, but I'd rather work backwards from there because you can't add. So we'll see how it goes. Well, hope you can see that. My phone is literally balancing between a Bluetooth speaker and some coasters. So hopefully I'll put my shirt down, make sure no butt crack comes out here. So yeah, I ended up sanding this. I realized, you know, it's going to be trim covering it. I don't know why I sanded this part. but I did. So I'm gonna try to stick this in there. I mean, it was tight. It was really tight before. Here we go. Here. I also just realized I think maybe the drywall might be hanging down. Do I have this right? Is this even in the proper way? Hang on a second. I marked top, bottom, top. I wasn't gonna go in that way anyhow. All right, that's tight. Oh, Jiminy. Oh my gosh. Oh, that might be a problem there. I might have. Nope, you gotta go around, dog. That might have been something. You know what? Looks like I might have missed one of these screws here. I might have missed my drill hole. Didn't even look. I wonder if that's going to be a problem. I might be able to sand that down. Could get my hammer. And again, remember, superpower is working hard and being lazy at the same time. Yeah. If I hammer it, I'm going to put a dent in that. Probably. I'll use my shoe. That side. Oh my God. I don't want to go sand more. Oh my. It's coming in. Oh. Want to go too far? It's getting it back out. It's not going to be good. Smooth that there. The trim's going to go over it. Well, that's a little looser toward the top. See what I'm talking about? Not square. Can you see that? I don't even know if you can see it. Anyway, I will nail it into place, and then I guess I'll start. You know, I could throw a wedge in there, but I don't think it's going to matter. Trim piece is going to cover it. The hinge is going to be on the left side. Can you see me? Hinge is going to be here. It's going to be one of those, if I find one right, it's going to be one of those pins, so it rotates outward. There's more space that way. It'll rotate this way, because I wanted it really flush. So it's all working in my head. I don't know if it's going to work out here, but yeah, I just really want to get that trimmed up. And then the trim piece on this side will actually move with the door. And then it'll come out a little bit, so the thing will tuck right behind it, in theory. And then this one will be, solid. And then I won't have a trim piece down here. I figure I got the molding. My dog is trying to stick this in my butt. Ziggy, not playing right now. All right, yeah, I guess I'm gonna nail it in. And that's it for now. I wanted to play music, but you know what's gonna happen. Put it on YouTube and I go, that's copyright. And then you won't be able to hear anything. All right, a couple things you realize when you're putting these in is you kind of gotta put one in and move along and flip around, put your screw in, because it will move around on you even if it's pretty tight. So I was gonna nail it in. I thought, you know what, I like this countersinker, so I just screwed those in. Don't think I'll worry about the bottom or the top. If I did the top anyway, I'd have to put something in there, but this thing's really rigid now. Only problem I did notice is, well, I use the straight edge to keep it pretty flush. You see there, it's flush. And you move it down here and it's kind of a bit out. This gap, I can't do anything about that. That's actually the drywall. Just someone cut the drywall before we bought the place. Then it's flush again here. It's flush down here. So the trim will hide it. And if it doesn't, if it comes out a little bit, like right here, it just seems a little high there. Because this, you know, this was fence wood that I sanded. I'll just I'll sand it down a little bit, and the trim will cover it. So anyway, I don't know if I should do trim next because I'm worried that once I build the actual shelving, that it won't line up. I almost feel like I should build the shelving, put the trim piece on it, see where it shuts, and then put the trim there accordingly after the fact. So I think that's going to be the go. So next is to actually build the unit inside, now that I got my new measurements. What time is it? I'm always checking the time. Yeah, well, I might just, no, don't have to rush off to work. But I'm just gonna eat something and relax. Yeah. So an update since I guess it was yesterday. I've cut the pieces out for the actual bookshelf. So I got top. Oh, what do I got? Top, bottom, and left, right. Pretty rough. So I did do some sanding. The wood's wet still because this was fence palings. I think this one I'm like, one of them's not going to be seen, like the bottom where it swings out. So anyway, I'm just going to let the wood dry in here, and then I need a backing. So I have, this is the largest piece I have left. I did a big project where I built a box around my son, in my son's closet, because the inside of the heat pump, the inside part's in his closet, and it was too loud, so I walled it out. And I had this left over, and then I got some longer pieces, so it's gonna, I'll make a seam. It won't be seen, it'll meet up in between shelves. So I've done the measurement. This is where I was sitting here using my tape measure here, you know, and you get these, so I need to split off. I wanted 2 shelves in here, so I kind of put where the shelves are going to go. See, that'll be on the right side, so the shelf will be obviously there and there, so it'll be 2 shelves. And of course the bottom will also, so technically I guess there's 3 shelves. The bottom, and then that one and that one, leaving equal spaces in between. Got a small book, you know, just to see how much room will be left. This is going to be very shallow, but paperbacks will fit just fine. Just what, and maybe some curios. Just feel weird saying that word. And see, there's plenty of room at the top. Yeah, so you get these odd numbers, 3/8, 1/16, and whatever. I'm just going, what? Why am I doing this? You know, I just spent 13 years of my life living with the metric system, and so here my straight edge thing, it's got the metric system on here. So I just busted this out. So much easier. I'm gonna start doing all my stuff. I'm gonna get another tape measure. You know what? For stuff I'm doing by myself, I need to talk to somebody else. I'll have this tape measure. If I'm doing my own stuff, I'm just getting a metric tape measure. I'm sorry, this inches, 3/8 fractional crap is, this is so much easier. I don't understand why why we don't just switch to this. It's just easier. Anyway, I'll take another piece of plywood. I have some lengthwise stuff, and it'll just, where there's going to be a shelf, there'll be a seam. I'll just make a seam so you won't know that there's 2 pieces of ply behind it for the backing. So what was it I had to do next? I have to cut the shelves. And I had to compensate for the fact that they need to be skinnier than the bottom and the top, because these are 1.5 centimeters each, so 3 centimeters total to take off of the full length of one of these. And I don't remember what that measurement was, so I'm going to measure it again and write it down. Anyway, that's the update for now. Won't be putting anything together yet because I need this wood to dry before I sand it. I sanded some of this while it was wet, and as you can see, it's just you can't sand wet wood. It just gets funky and pilly. So dry it, sand it some more, and then let it definitely dry before I put any paint on it. But at least I can put it together. Okay. Okay. I have, for the most part, I have completed the bookshelf itself. So I'll show you this here. Wear a mask when you do sanding. I haven't been, and I get kind of a little tickle right after I'm done. So, yeah, safety first always. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I've done here. So, you know, considering I've used nothing but crappy, recycled, repurposed lumber, I've got a real good bin there. But, you know, no one's going to see it. There'll be some trim. Let me back this out. There'll be some trim around the outside that will butt up against this side, and not here, but you won't see it. That's the top, obviously. So what I've done here is, unfortunately there's a knot there. I'm going to have to stick some more wood putty in there. Oh, before I go any further, I'm going to talk to you about wood putty. So there's a piece. I'll stick that in there. That's actually came out of there. Well, I'll put some more in. That's what happens when you get vibrations going on. This is a knot hole. Crappy wood. This was a fence. Mind you, this was actually not wood for a fence. This was a fence. All right, so wood putty. Great for filling holes and filling in like stuff that's bad with your wood, or if you're a novice carpenter, here's a good, this is what happens when it gets late and you're losing light because you don't have a real shop, and maybe you had a bourbon or two. This is intentional. Hole, whatever. I was going to nail, then I decided not to there. So the reason why there's two sets here is I opted on all the shelves. Can you see that? It's dark. There you go. To put a little support. Not that there's going to be anything really heavy on it. I felt more comfortable with that. So, wood putty, a screwer-upper's friend. So, yeah, there's some gaps. Maybe, you know what? I might just try to tuck that in a little more, or I could shove some wood putty in the corner there. See if I can get a screwdriver in there, tighten that up, and put more wood putty. But I'm pretty happy. So next step is, I got my hinge, and I'll show you the hinge later. I'll make sure it swings really good, get it in there properly, and then after that, we do the trim, and then I'll pull it all apart. I'll pull it out apart and paint it before I do final assembly. Anyway, I'm happy with it. Oh, for future projects, my neighbor Mike has loaned me this. Nice, huh? So. Okay, I'm actually scared to do the hinge because that's got to be super straight or it's going to hang funny. So wish me luck. So what I did here to try to find my pivot point and where I'm going to put my, this is the bottom. So this part goes up. One problem I have is, there's a ball bearing there, is this is going to go through. It's going to stick up into my shelf, so I might put something over it. I don't want to layer another piece of shelving in there unless I do it on both sides to make it thicker, because this is going to pop up. I'll show you. This is going to, lay this flat. One hand. This is going to go up in here. Right? See that? Well, no, well. That's sticking up. So either I put another layer of wood here, or I just hide that because it's going to be like in there, sticking up right there. I can I don't know, put something over the top of it. But anyway, so I have to find my pivot point, basically, with that sticking down and this sticking up. So, oh, look at there, it goes on the, so I made a board that's just exactly, you know, the footprint of this thing, right? So pretend this is a whole big shelf. And so found my spot. So this is the actual dimensions. So I need it to clear over there, right? That's its tightest point. Okay. Not a lot of room, right? So y'all wanted to make my tolerances as tight as possible. Now, for being a novice, I mean, look at that. Shut. Open, shut. So I cannot mess up at all where this goes to make it perfect. And then here's the top part. So the top part, oh, hi, kitty. Yeah. The top part is, so this part will go, I'll pause this and hang on. All right, I saw this on YouTube. Some guy built something similar. I kind of went different on a few approaches than him, but the hinged part's what really I wanted to do something like this. And I was like, well, how do you slip it in there? You know, how do you slip it in here? Well, if you got a pin sticking down that needs to go in something, I know there's spring ones. I couldn't find any. So I've got a notch to get this. This might just be able to screw in. This might just be able to screw in the base down here. I don't know if I need to channel it all. This is definitely going to have, this mechanism is going to be up in, it's going to be up in here. So I'll have to dig into that. And then I need to have a screw hole that goes through the top of my shelf so that I can screw this screw here. Because when I screw it, it retracts. I can't do it. I don't have a screwdriver. Oh, yes, I do. Let's see if I can. I need a tripod. I need a tripod. I'm going to use this level and hold this up with my level and my foot. I'm recording, Corbin. Oh, you know what? This is a flathead screw, and this is a Phillips screwdriver, and my tool bag's outside. Anyway, you screw this, and this actually will retract. And then when it retracts, then you screw it back down when your stuff's in, and it goes down there. So this will be my, no, it won't. This will be how this goes. So again, this will stick through. I can cut that off because it only goes down like what? That far. So I can cut off that much. That wouldn't probably show through my thingo, but this, the bottom one will. So anyway, that'll go there. Pretty cool, huh? So I am, I guess the bottom part's where this still spins really good. Really well, I should say. Yeah. So it'll be really nice action, I guess you can say. But yeah, I cannot mess up. I mean, look at that again. Look at that. Not bad for a rookie. You know? I did my measurements. And I kind of eyeballed, you know, like, yeah, I guess that'll fit. And then I go and make this template, this exact size, and wow. There is no room for it to be even 1 millimeter bigger, really. Maybe a millimeter, maybe not. But that's as tight as it's going to get. Stay tuned. All right, guys. Straight out of the shower, rushing off to work. Yeah, this swinging bookshelf secret thing. I'm not done with it, but I'm going to go ahead and post up what I've done so far. It's been a process. I've done several things in between. This is actually weeks since I started it. Not that I've been working on it the whole time. I've had a lot of other things I've been doing. So I tackled it some more, and let me tell you, if you're a novice at carpentry, maybe just build a bookshelf. You know, don't start out with a bookshelf. Oh God, I'm gonna sit down. Don't start out with a bookshelf that is, I made just a colossal mess here. Don't start out with a bookshelf that's going into a not square hole or rectangular or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And don't make one that pivots on these special hinges because they are a pita. So I've got it in here. I probably should have videoed the routering to get things to fit, and up in here, because this just would not fit in here. I had to channel this to sneak this board up here because you see that's not square. I think I've done that before. Oh, you just got to come every time I video. So anyway, it's in. This gap has to be that big right now because of it just has to swing. So we'll show you how it swings. So you see that's perfect, right? And also I would recommend not using reclaimed wood for something more precision like this, because this was a fence and nothing is straight, but I made it as straight as possible. So as you can see, all this will be, I'll trim around here, it'll be trim here, and then this will meet up against it. The door will go in there. So you see my hinge had to come through here. I'll do something to hide it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just run a trim piece across the front. You won't even see it. Anyway, yes, it works. It goes into the mess I've made. I spent some time in there trying to get things done. Anyway, off to work I go. If I'm talking fast, it's because I'm in a hurry and I need to get in slow down gear. I just knocked off where I am because I wanted to go to work calm and showered. So I've just done that, and okay, yeah, slow down. Anyway, it's in, it swings, it opens, it closes. Next is the latch, trim, and I was gonna pull it out and paint everything, but you know what? It was such a pain to get in here. I'm gonna paint everything. I'm just gonna move it around and paint it while it's in here. I am not pulling this back out again. It's just not worth it. I will paint, let it dry, paint some more, turn it, spin it, because I can still go this way a little ways. I can come out pretty far. Yeah. And get as much paint on there as I need to. I'll just like stick a brush in here. Whatever. Or paint the other part when I'm in there, see? Okay. I hope you enjoyed this part. And then the next segment regarding this bookshelf will be it painted and functioning as a secret door with the latch in here. Book.